Before we meet the man who measured the earth with nothing but sunlight and a shadow, let's take a quick step back. We began this journey with Newton, mind that uncovered the laws holding the universe together. Then we met Edmond Halley, friend who pushed those ideas into the sky. After him came Galileo, who pointed a simple telescope upward and changed how humanity sees the heavens. And just recently, we questioned the shape of our own world, flat, curved, or something more complex. Every chapter led to one idea. Curiosity shapes everything we know, and today, that curiosity takes us thousands of years into the past, to the man who tried to measure the whole earth using pure reasoning. If you enjoy this journey through the minds that shaped our world, you're welcome to subscribe and join us for what comes next. He was born in Cyrene, a city where sunlight spilled across white stone walls and the wind carried the scent of olive trees and distant sea salt. Some children grow up chasing games, but Eratosthenes grew up chasing questions. They said he stared too long at the sky. They said he watched shadows the way others watched birds. He listened to the world not to its noise, but to its patterns, the rhythm of days, the tilt of seasons, the quiet swing of constellations over the desert. No one taught him to be curious. Life simply whispered to him differently. His family valued words more than weapons, books more than gold. So the boy who collected questions soon became the young man who collected knowledge poetry, mathematics, music, astronomy. He moved through disciplines the way a river moves through a valley, naturally, smoothly, as if the world itself were inviting him to explore. But Cyrene could not hold a mind like his. So he traveled across the Mediterranean, past windswept islands and crowded harbors, until he reached Athens. There he learned to listen even more deeply, to argue with elegance, to see the invisible geometry hidden behind ordinary things. And slowly, his name began to drift through scholarly circles, quietly, like a rumor of brilliance. But destiny was waiting further south, in the library of Alexandria, the beating heart of ancient knowledge, a kingdom of scrolls, a cathedral of ideas. When word of his talents reached its marble halls, they invited him not as a visitor, but as a mind worthy of shaping the world. And so the boy from Cyrene, who once followed shadows on the ground, stepped across the threshold of the greatest library on earth, ready to ask the questions no one else thought to ask. For thousands of years, people looked at the sun, the moon, the shifting seasons, and wondered, how big is the world beneath our feet? Does it have an edge, a limit, a measurable shape? Empires rose and fell, armies marched across continents, sailors crossed seas. But no one truly knew the size of the earth, until one man decided to measure it using only light, shadows, and a question. His name was Eratosthenes, a librarian, a geographer, a poet, a mathematician, and perhaps one of the most curious minds the ancient world ever produced. He didn't seek glory. He sought understanding. And his story begins not with complex instruments, but with a simple observation. In the city of Syene, what we now call Iswan, something unusual happened once a year. At noon on the summer solstice, the sun shone directly overhead, so precisely that the light reached the bottom of deep wells. Sticks held upright cast no shadow. This was a rare phenomenon whispered by travelers, mentioned by scholars, but ignored by most. But when Eratosthenes heard this detail, something shifted. He knew that in Alexandria far to the north shadows did appear at the same time, on the same day. Sticks did not stand shadowless. The sun's angle was different. Why would the sun behave differently in two cities, on the same planet, under the same sky. This was not a trick of the light, not a myth, not a coincidence. For Eratosthenes, it was a clue. Eratosthenes had a gift. He saw connections where others saw isolated facts. If the earth were perfectly flat, the sun would strike every point at the same angle. Shadows would be identical everywhere. But they weren't. In Syene, the sun stood upright. In Alexandria, it leaned. There was only one explanation. The earth must be curved. And if it's curved, the difference between shadows could reveal the curvature itself. He realized, if I can measure the angle of that shadow and the distance between the two cities, I can measure the size of the earth itself. A measurement not of land, but of the planet. A measurement of the world. So, on the summer solstice in Alexandria, Eratosthenes placed a vertical stick into the ground. As the sun reached its peak, a shadow stretched across the sand. He measured its angle, about 7.2 degrees. A small angle, but it meant something enormous. See, 7.2 degrees is 1/50th of a full circle. If the distance between Syene and Alexandria could be determined, then the full circumference of the earth could be calculated. He hired professional walkers Baptists known for pacing distances across deserts with astonishing accuracy. They returned with the number, roughly 5,000 stadia between the two cities. And so, Eratosthenes performed one of the most elegant calculations in history. If 7.2 degrees corresponds to 5,000 stadia, then 360 degrees, the whole circle must be 50 times 5,000, which equals 250,000 stadia. Depending on the exact unit used, this meant the Earth's circumference was astonishingly close to the modern measurement. With no ships crossing oceans, no satellites, no telescopes, just light, just shadows, just thought. He had measured the world. Eratosthenes didn't simply calculate a number. He demonstrated something much deeper, that human beings can understand the universe using reason alone. His experiment was simple, yet profound, accessible to anyone with a stick, sunlight, and curiosity. It proved that knowledge doesn't always require power, wealth, or complex tools. Sometimes all it requires is the courage to ask, what if? And the patience to follow wherever that question leads. Eratosthenes didn't stop at measuring the earth. He invented the term geography. He created one of the first maps of the known world. He developed methods to calculate the tilt of the Earth's axis. He estimated the distance to the sun. He even designed a prime number sieve that is still studied today. But his greatest legacy wasn't any single discovery. It was his belief that the world could be known, measured, understood, long before telescopes, before calculus, before celestial mechanics. Eratosthenes proved that the universe wasn't just a place of mystery. It was a place of patterns, and we were capable of finding them. When Eratosthenes looked at a shadow, he didn't just see darkness, he saw information. A message from the sun. He didn't try to conquer the world. He tried to measure it, to understand it, to reveal it. And he did all of this without leaving his continent, without advanced tools, without certainty. Only curiosity. And maybe this is the real lesson he leaves behind. The world becomes clearer not when we travel farther, but when we learn to notice more. If a shadow could change the way humanity sees the earth, who knows what simple detail could shape the next discovery. So before you go, look around your room, your street, your world, and ask the same question Eratosthenes once asked. What am I overlooking? And if you enjoyed this journey through ancient curiosity, subscribe, leave a like, and share your thoughts below.